guys, and welcome to my first official YouTube video on my channel. And for my first YouTube video I'm going to be showing you how to get the look on my face right now, which is my everyday back to school makeup or college work. It's the time of the year that we all dread, which is going back to school, and we all need some tips on ways to get back into it. So I hope this can be a good opportunity for you to get some good makeup tips on what you can wear to school and get back in the flow of things. So I hope you enjoy this video and let's get started. Hey guys, so firstly I'm going to start off with foundation, and for foundation I'm going to be using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk in the shade 7.75. So I'm going to start by pumping a couple of pumps on the back of my hand, and then I'll apply it on my face from there. So what did you guys get up to over your summer holidays? Me, I went to Malia for 2 weeks. And when I come home then, last weekend, I went to Reading Festival, which was absolutely amazing. Like, I can't stress enough. If you've never been to a festival, I totally recommend it. It did get a little bit filthy towards the end, like the toilets weren't the best, but oh my god, the acts were so good. I was lucky enough to have a couple of friends in Reading, so I was able to go back there in the morning to have a shower and get ready. And I have to say, I'm not sure how I would have coped if I didn't have that, because I like dressing up and getting myself all tarted up, you could say. So would I do it again? I'm not sure, but it's definitely something that you have to do like at least once in your life. The weather managed to get really good as well. If it was raining, god, that would have been a different story. Like, all my outfits would have been totally ruined. But god, 32 degrees on the Sunday of Reading Festival. It was almost too hot at some points. It's like you'd be going to the acts, you'd just be coming out of them like you've just gone to a sauna, you'd be soaking wet, but it's all part of the experience. Gotta make sure you blend it down your neck, because you don't want any line of distinction between your foundation and your neck. My face is always a little bit paler than the rest of my body, because whenever I tan, my face never tans like my body does for some reason. For my concealer, I'm going to go in with the MAC Studio Fix 24 Hour Concealer in the shade NC40. It's the only thing that's matching me at the moment with my tan. Sorry if you hear the rain, like the heavens decided they want to open as soon as I started filming this video. I'm going to apply that to my forehead, down my nose, and on my chin also, and a little bit right here. And I'm blending this all in using the Real Technique sponge. I'm not sure if anyone could give me any good recommendations of new series to watch, because I just finished the series Euphoria. It was absolutely amazing. I saw that a lot of people were watching it on YouTube, like Amanda Ensign, Carly Bible, but I don't normally, if someone's recommended something a lot and overhyped it, I just don't really tend to watch them, because I usually get disappointed and they're never as good as I think they might be. But this one I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go watch it. So if you have Sky or Now TV, you'll be able to watch it on there, and it was incredible. It's like I never get really hooked on TV programs like I do with this one, but I'm so sad that it was such a short series because I was just so hooked. Like I'd be sat there for hours on end, just episode after episode watching it. It's too good. And before that creases now, I'm going to set that with the Laura Mercier powder in the shade Translucent, and I'm going to set that using the Real Technique sponge again. Is it just me, or where did summer go? It's like, feels like a couple of seconds ago it was the end of May and it was my birthday, and then out of nowhere, back to college, back to school. It's crazy how fast time flies. It's like I never appreciate summer enough. It's like when I'm going through it, I'm just like, oh, I'm so bored, what's there to do? But then it comes to September and I'm like, what? Where did that go? I probably should have done this before setting my concealer, but I'm gonna go in with a cream highlight. I am using the Hourglass stick highlight in the shade Champagne Flash. What I do with this is that I take some on my finger and then I'll apply it using my finger to the top of my cheekbones or anywhere I'd like to have a bit of shine. At this stage I always think I look so crazy without my eyebrows on. It's like I've got like this really flat base and then just no eyebrows at all. And now I'm going to go in with a bit of cream contour, and to contour I use the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in the shade, well, the shade's actually rubbed off, but I use a deeper shade, probably around 3 shades darker than my skin tone. Something that isn't too harsh, so that can make me have a look of a bit of shadow on my face. I'll apply that in a slight curve under my cheekbone, on the top of my forehead, and I apply it under my jawline. I like to give myself a bit more of a boxy looking jawline, given the emphasis of like good cheekbones and good bone structure on my face. And a little bit down my nose. I don't want anything too harsh because I'm not the best at cream contouring my nose at all, but I just like the look of, well, I think it looks a bit off balanced if you have it on your cheekbones but you don't have anything on your nose. And a bit under my lip. I often find that putting on the highlight and then the cream contour afterwards blends it all together a little bit well, because if you're just putting on the highlight it can be quite harsh if you don't blend it in properly. So putting the contour on after just meshes them together a lot easier, I find. And I blend the cream contour down to my jawline. And then later on I'll go in with a bit more foundation and blend that down my neck so I don't have that sort of light to dark contrast. With my nose I sort of just bounce my sponge over my nose, and then later I'll go in with some powder and blend that all in so it all kind of becomes one. The next step I take is using my really old and beat up Marc Jacobs bronzer and going over that cream contour. This bronzer was just so expensive. Even though it's smashed to pieces because I dropped it, I just do not want to have to buy another one. I can't exactly remember the price of it, but I just remember it being so expensive for what it is. Can all my blonde girls relate to absolutely hating their foundation and their concealer getting in their hair? However much I try to be careful about not getting in my hair every single time. I need to go in with a makeup wipe and wipe it off my hair. For highlight, I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlighter. When I first got this highlighter, I actually wasn't the biggest fan of it, but then I found to really optimise the amount of pigment in this highlighter, you really need a bit of a sticky base. So either a dewy foundation or a cream highlight underneath really emphasises it a lot and makes it stick so much better, because it has a really soft finish. It needs something a bit sticky to really cling on to it. On a day-to-day basis, I don't really use any blush because I just like the look of really bronzy skin. If anyone could recommend any sort of bronzy blushes for me to use, I'd really appreciate it. And now on to brows, where I feel like I'm going to become human again. And for brows, I'm going to be using the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 3. Brows and lashes make the biggest difference to my face. It's like without my eyebrows, it just doesn't feel like me. And then when I put them on, it's like I get so much more definition in my face and it just brings me to life. No matter what type of rush I'm in, whether I'm going to school, work, I always need to carve out my brows. And to carve out my brows, I'm going to be using the P. Louise base in the shade. What I'll do is I'll apply this to the back of my hand like I did my foundation, and then I use a flat brush just to carve out the bottom of my brows. I never carve out the top unless it's like proper special occasion, and I'll go in with a foundation the same shade as my skin tone, because otherwise you can see some girls that have really bright carved out brows on the top and the bottom. It just looks so fake. So to avoid that, I just carve out the bottom, and if I do carve out the top, I use a shade of concealer or foundation that's a lot closer to my skin tone. Look at the difference that made. It just makes it look so much better. And then with the rest of the P. Louise base on my hand, I'm going to apply that to the rest of my lid. Would anyone be able to give me some good recommendations of new places I can purchase clothes? Because I'm so bored of going on Pretty Little Thing and Misguided. It's like they're like my go-to places to buy clothes. But it's like they keep on coming out with stuff that looks so similar. Like Pretty Little Thing and Misguided, I have to say both of their clothing ranges are very similar, and I'm not sure whether they're manufactured in the same place or at the same owners, but I just feel like I need something new to spice up my wardrobe a little bit, because my wardrobe, everything in there is nude, white or black, and it's kind of boring me a bit at the moment. So if anyone could give me any recommendations, it would be much appreciated. On the average day, if I didn't have much time to spare, I wouldn't normally put on any eyeshadow or anything like that, but for the sake of this video I'm going to put a little bit of something on my eyelid, and for that I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette. At the moment, this is my favourite palette to use because it has a little bit of everything. There's a couple of really good neutral shades as well, because lots of people like warm toned shadows, but I just feel like it washes me out quite a lot. So I'm going to first go in with the shade Birch in the palette, which is the top right shade. I'm just going to quickly sweep that over my outer edges and kind of drag it out to the edge of my eyebrow, maybe a little bit beyond, to really have that sultry look and kind of make my eyes look a lot bigger. For my everyday sort of look, it's that I'm not too precise with where I'm putting my shadow. As long as it's nicely blended, I'll use a nice fluffy brush to make sure there's no harsh edges, and I'll just sweep it over my eyes, pulling it in a bit of a V towards the middle section of my eye. This is making me realise I really need to get my lash extensions done, because they're holding on by a thread through my holiday and Reading. They're really getting to a point where I'm just like, they're looking a bit tatty. For my lid shade, I'm going to be going in with a mixture of Pearl and Steampunk. What I'll do is I'll go between the both of them, and then I'll just apply that to my lid. And then on the inner section of my eye, I'll just go in with Pearl to brighten it up. For my lower lash line, I'm going to go in with Birch again, which is what I went into the crease with on my first shade. I like to drag this quite low to be able to really open up my eyes and make my eyes look a lot bigger, which I feel is a really nice look for me personally. Don't be afraid of dragging it too low, because sometimes people keep really dark shades just really close to the eyes and it really closes them up, so dragging it down can be a really flattering look as well. And now is the time that I like to highlight my inner corner and my brow bone, and to do that I'm going to be using the same Amrezy highlighter by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I like to kind of cup the inside of the tear duct area to really brighten it up. To take away any of the highlighter that might have gone on my eyebrow hairs, I'm going to go in with a brow gel, and I'm going to use the L'Oreal one in the blonde shade. Before I go in with my mascara, I'm going to use my setting spray, and I love the Urban Decay setting spray, and I got this really cute little one which I bought for my holiday, and it surprisingly lasts me a very long time considering how small it is. But I use 4 to 5 sprays depending on how much my foundation is looking powdery. A fan would come in handy at this point. You've got to make sure that your setting spray completely dries before you apply your mascara, because you don't want that mascara to transfer onto your bottom lashes. And because I have lash extensions, I need to go in with a mascara that's water-based, otherwise it's too hard to get off and you could end up rubbing off your lash extensions. So if you Google it, I know there's the Buxom one which is really good, and the one that I'm using at the moment is the Benefit one. I think it's called, or the Real mascara. So I'll apply that into any spaces where I've lost any lashes, and slightly onto my lash extensions and on my bottom lashes. I have to say, makeup is just the time when I can totally relax. I find it so therapeutic just putting on some makeup and feeling so much better about myself. It's like, I know you're meant to feel good in your own skin and all that, but having some makeup on just makes me feel so much more confident in myself and so good. It's like when I put on my eyebrows, I just feel like I'm all put together and I'm ready to conquer anything. So it's like, even if I'm going to work, I'll be putting on a full face of makeup. Even though I am quite comfortable in my own skin, it's always nice to have that protective layer, if you know what I mean. and that's why I guess lots of girls will start wearing makeup at a younger age to school, because they just feel like when they've got their makeup on, they can do anything, they can conquer anyone. So do this as your school, back to school makeup look and you will feel amazing. Oh. If you've done what I've did and you've just caught your mascara on your skin, wait for it to dry and then go in with a clean, what do you call it, spoolie and just pick it off at the end once it's completely dry to avoid smudging, and then put some powder on top of it and you won't be able to see it at all. While that is drying, I'm going to go in with some lip liner, and for lip liner I'm going to be using the Subculture MAC Prolongwear lip liner. It's a really nice nude shade which I feel goes with any sort of nude lipstick you'd ever want. It's a bit of a lighter lip liner, so if you want to add more definition to your lips, maybe go with something darker like Electrica or any other darker lip liner, and then put a lighter one in the middle, but for everyday I think this one's perfect. Because it's the Prolongwear lip formula, I'm going to apply that all over my lips, so they're going to last all day, all throughout school, all throughout work, whatever you're doing. And you could add a lipstick on top, a lip gloss, and this is always going to be the base underneath, which is going to last you. And on top of that, I'm going to tap a little bit of a lipstick, and I'm going to tap over the NYX or NYX matte lipstick in the shade Sable. And there we have it, guys. That's my everyday back to school makeup look. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any recommendations of other YouTube videos you'd like to see me make, or anything that I may have asked in this video that you'd like to answer, please leave it in the comment section down below. It's so lovely to have my first video, well, official video up on my channel, and I hope this is the first of many to come. See you!